Apostolate of Holy Motherhood, Introduction by Mark Miravalle. Part 2, The Visionary, Mariamante. The recipient of the visions and juxtaposed messages which aim at the restoration and sanctification of the vocation of Holy Motherhood is most appropriately a mother. The visionary is a young mother in her middle 30s with 3 children whose respective ages when the visions took place were 7, 3, and 1. That the visionary is a young mother bears a significance to the nature of the messages, for at one point when the visionary wondered why so many of her personal questions and difficulties were being answered through these messages, the Blessed Mother responded, "This is because I wish to speak to other mothers through you and your everyday life experiences." To safeguard the visionary's state in life as a mother of young children, the Blessed Mother assured the visionary that her personal identity would remain confidential. Anyone familiar with the tremendous cross that accompanies the grace of being chosen to receive a private revelation can see the appropriateness of sparing a young mother that public responsibility. This is particularly fitting when the purpose of the revelation is precisely the sanctification of motherhood and the Christian family from within. For this reason, when referring to this mother visionary in the text, we will use the title Mariamante, which in Latin means lover of Mary. During an extensive interview with Mariamante at her home, some pertinent information regarding her religious background and upbringing was obtained. She had personally received little to no formal theological or religious education in the Catholic faith. She was born into a Catholic family whose religious practice or fervor was average, limited principally to Sunday Mass attendance. The visionary had not attended Catholic schools during her upbringing, and any religious education was limited to CCD classes. The only adult religious education or formation Mariamante received was during her brief novitiate formation that preceded her entry into the Franciscan Third Order for the laity. Here again, her theological education could not be considered formal, nor even begin to reflect the profound level of theological and pastoral insight contained in the revealed messages. It should likewise be noted that since the time of these reported revelations, Mariamante was wisely forbidden by her spiritual director to read any other writings on private revelation, contemporary or otherwise, nor any classical mystical writings in an attempt to protect the integrity and purity of transmission of what was personally taking place in her own spiritual life. In general, Mariamante seemed very peaceful during our interview, though understandably serious about the nature of the subject matter being discussed. She was interrupted several times by her children, but much like her practice as reflected in the manuscript, she patiently excused herself to tend to the needs of her children, and then returned with a focused concentration to our interview in her attempt to give the most accurate and precise answers possible to the ubiquitous and interminable questioning. Externally, Mariamante seems to live an ordinary domestic life as a Christian wife and mother, but it is also a life incarnationally permeated with a charity and humility that is manifest in the way that the many little duties of her life seem to be performed for God out of love of God. Specific information on Mariamante is contained in the foreword by her spiritual director.